Lloyd says, what kinds of things can one do with your backtest tool? There's 3 features on the backtesting tool. Okay, 3 functions of the backtesting tool. The first one is just basic. When you sign up for the historical subscription, you'll have access to the historical chain. So you just go into the chain, Lloyd, as you normally would, and then you can select a date. Now, this is just a trial, so it only allows me to go back 3 months. It's several years, of course, when you're on the subscription level for the historical tools or the premium service, which includes real-time and the historical tools. We had seen the different warnings. So let's say I go back to August 3rd for Apple. That's going to look a little bit strange here because we don't do this with the splits. Okay, we don't amortize it for the splits. We just record what the data was at the end of the day. But in any case, I can go back to August 3rd and say, okay, so if I was considering buying a call on Apple when it was at 435 on August 3rd, let's say I was thinking about the 430, which would have cost me about, let's say, $10. Okay, oh, that's for the 4 days. Let's say, I'm sorry. Let me go to let's go to today, September 18th. Now, of course, we're not going to hold it all the way because there was a split in the middle. But now the 430 is going to run me, let's call it $25 even. Well, I can just go to next. And then I can, okay, so it's up another $2.91 and my 430 moved up maybe 20 cents. We can go next again. Or I can just select the date manually and say what would have happened to 5 days and 10 days. Okay, that's just a simple historical chain view. It's a lot of fun. You ever had a question about what was this option priced on this date before this big move? This is a good tool to use. Okay, it's fun. You can look up stuff. The main port, though, for the back testing is the two tools that you can access the back testing under each strategy. Just as you access the search in each strategy, there's not a separate tool case for the back test. You go into it based on the strategy that you're looking for. So I went into bull put and I went back test. I'm going to go to SmartHistoryXL. Now for this example, I will mention that the historical tools are going to be a little bit slow because right now it's updating all of today's data. Okay, so let's go back again to August 3rd. I don't even know if that's a Monday. Let me check here. August 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Oh, it would have been a Monday. Okay, good. And we'll do the weekly bull puts. Okay, so now what the system is doing, Lloyd, is it's going back in time. And it is finding every position that matched my default weekly bull put credit spread on August 3rd. And it's usually faster than this, but again, always tough to show during the Friday sessions because we're loading in that giant data table. Well, it says there's top 3 results. Why I'm only seeing 2? Because the third one was a duplicate. There are probably 2 MasterCard bull puts that match the criteria or 2 Burlington stores that match the criteria. Okay, so here's the positions that would have matched my default bull put weekly credit spread search on August 3rd. Now, I can look at each individual position. I can go to Analyze Position. And what that's going to do when it comes up, it's going to show me how this particular position performed over the expiration period. What was the maximum return? What was the minimum return? It helps me analyze rolling or closing positions. If I wanted to use a certain trigger point, I could see when that hit during the trade to help me with my management and my trading plan as well. Also, the other feature here, Calculate Group Results. Now, normally if I had 10 or 15 results, what this would show me is the return at expiration for all 10 or 15. How does that help me, Lloyd? When I have an idea or a customer comes to me, idea, do you think it's a good idea to trade, I'll just throw something out there, bull call debit spreads where the short call is out of the money, the call you're buying is slightly in the money and you're 2 months out in time? Well, I'll create a quick search and then go back in the back testing and look over it over 2 or 3 different market cycles and then quickly be able to say, well, you did really good here, but the losses you made here totally balance that out. It's going to need more planning. It's going to need more exit strategies to be successful, and then it can help me with it. So here's the analyze the position. You have a graph here which shows you your return on this bull put credit spread over the time frame. The minimum return on the position was 8% on August 6th. That means 8% loss on the margin requirement, but we had the full expected profit at expiration. And it does say a max return of 17%. That's probably a weird bid-ask spread, but the max return on this position was 13.6%, which would have been realized at expiration. Down here, though, you have another graph of just showing you how your two options, in this case for the spread, performed versus the stock price. And up here, you're also seeing it compared to what SPX and QQQ did during those same time frames. So the idea is that's just to analyze each individual position. Oh, sorry. The calculate group results, well, 2 out of 2, 100% success rate, going from August 3rd to August 14th. Fantastic. Now let me go back. And what happened on, they would have cleared out on August 14th. So the Monday following, August 17th, what if I opened new bull puts at that time, and how did they perform? So I'm trying to gauge the success rate of my search filters for my different strategies, Lloyd, and I can go and run those different examples, and I can also use the analyze each individual position field to help me see if some of my positions were hitting losses at a certain point, what might I want to use as a trigger to close, roll, or adjust a position. Here's a much better view. 15 is only showing me the top 15, but there were 29 total results that matched the criteria. So this was the Monday following the 14th expiration. We're going to calculate group results. It's going to take a moment, Lloyd, because we've got everything going on in the background with loading up the new data into that giant table. Sorry, take a little refresher there. All right, there you go. Default criteria on Power Options, weekly bull put credit spreads for that 14-day cycle. 14 out of 14 were successful, 100%. Average return on the winners was 13.7%. During that time frame, QQQ and SPX, QQQ moved up 5.9. That's that large tech movement Sam was talking about. And SPX at 3.6%. So this is what I'm doing with the backtesting tools. I have an idea. I have an idea and a strategy. Fernando brings me an idea of a strategy. Should I focus only on a certain bull call debit spread that has close to a 0 theta as possible? Well, I'll try to create that search in Power Options. I'll save it on the Power Options screen. Then I'll go in the backtesting, and I'll be able to give Fernando the results of what I saw over the last 2 to 3 months. Does it make sense to do it, or is it going to require a lot of management to be successful? So this is the power here. Just like the patented search tool, that's the patented SmartHistoryXL. It works just like the search tool. Any searches that you've saved in a given strategy, you can run through with the back testing, or you can even put them in on the fly. I think it's just better to save it first in the main search, Lloyd, and then just select it from the dropdown with the time frame that you wanted to run. Okay, a comment comes in. What about the next cycle? Okay, so this was the 14th through the 28th. So let's run our bull put spread weekly on August 28th. I'm sorry, 28th was the expiration, so we would have run it on the 31st. I did Lululemon. On this date, I'm sorry, the 14th, 17th, I was in Lululemon. I did not do OLED. I did Apple, as Sam did, and I think it was Broadcom were the 3 that I entered. Maybe it wasn't Penn. It was something different. I can't remember which one it was. Now, remember, these numbers, of course, Lloyd, are from the close of business on Friday. We don't have an intraday history. Okay, so again, top 15 of 55 results. That one looks familiar. TXN, ServiceNow, Fastly. That one looks familiar as well. So it's going to take a minute, but let's go to calculate group results. I think the comment here was just to see what would have happened to these positions when we started seeing the bearish sells, and was a good idea to stay out of it for that week that I had mentioned when the bearish sell warning started to appear. Or would we have some success? Not too good, huh? MasterCard took the full loss, but we would have managed it before that, following the rules. We're going to get to Irene in a moment. I think she left, and I do apologize for that, Irene, but we'll still cover your topic, and we'll make it available for you. Spotify, I believe, SPOT, went down to 241.60, so that was at the full loss, 97%. And that's why I recognize it. I got out of this at a 32% loss on the margin requirement, where it was near 100, when NVIDIA and Facebook did not perform as well. Still 67% success rate, but with the larger losses that you would have mitigated to 50% following general trading rules, this was a return of a loss of 14.3%. So in the first cycle, we made an average of 13.6. That second cycle would have had a 100% success rate as well, and I think the average was around the same 13.6. Then we took about a 14.3% loss. We're still slightly ahead of the game, but look, wasn't the market to do it. That's why I mentioned when I saw the bearish sells come up, Lloyd. I know you didn't ask about bull put credit spreads, Lloyd. but that's what we were looking to do. Okay, so let me go back here and back to backtest. The third tool is simply just the search by symbol that you have for every strategy. Okay, so the search by symbol tool here. And same thing. You just select the date you wanted to search. Let's go to August 31st. Now, instead of seeing the results, Lloyd, that matched my criteria, I'm just going to look for bull puts with some basic. We don't have a lot of filters here. You just have less, more, or all. I'm going to stick with more on Apple. And so this is just going to show me a variety of spreads that matched that base criteria for Apple. Okay, so we see the stocks at 129.04. First off, wouldn't have entered any of these. Let's go to less results. In this case, nothing with a 65% probability. I've got to be 80% or 85% or higher is what I want, but for just looking at different spreads and how they performed, I'm going to go to the less results, so I focus more on the 70, 75, 80% probability. Just one. Jeez. So here's one with a smallish return. And oh no, that's not what I want either. That's really close in. So, oh shoot, something is really strange there. I apologize. Oh, it left it all expiration. I thought I selected September. That's I did something foolish there, I think. I'm sorry, folks. Let's try this again. Apple, less results. It toggled out. How about that? For September. Searching on August 31st. Irene, you're coming up. This is why I'm using bold puts, Irene, because your question's coming up right next. Okay, let's go to more results. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I still don't like these, but let's just calculate the group results anyway. Yeah, all of them were 100% loss because they were too close to the money. But again, that was the time frame I wouldn't have done, as I mentioned. But that's how you can use the back test for the search by symbol. And it's under all the tools. You wanted to back test the married puts. You just use SmartHistoryXL and use our defaults to back test that. Any of the naked puts, we could just go into search by symbol or to SmartHistoryXL as well, Lloyd. And that's the functionality, general functionality of those. Now, before we go any further, I just want to remind you that this is of course, the webinars page here, powerop.com/webinars.asp. It's a public page. Most of these are free to the public. And, sorry, I'm in the tools section. Here's one. I have a more recent one. I'm going to have to find that for you. I don't know why it's not posted here, but there's a full presentation on using the backtesting tools and the backtesting features there. And you can find that right in the tools section of the webinars page, powerop.com/webinars.asp. Okay, all right. So Lloyd, that's what we use the backtesting tool as well.